Welcome to yet another of my videos. This one I'm going to try and cover how OTS itself actually works. But before I go any further, I want to clarify something that can become very confusing within OTS. You have your categories here, which are 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, male, group, 70s, etc. The categories. They're also tags, which is what you have when you edit the file to go into OTS. You have, of course, the title of the song, the artist, and as it is listed here, a genre. Now the genres can be anything. 1970s, 1980s, male, female, blues, pop, rock, disco, whatever you want, you put into here. And as it indicates here, it's indicated as a genre. But because you can use more than just music genres such as blues, pop, rock, you can also have male, group, female, dates such as 70s, 80s, and you can have, if I remember rightly, up to 128 different listings here, which is an advantage over MP3 files that can only have one. And you also have, as I said before, the categories. Now these categories here can be managed in OTS. You go up here into manage categories and you'll see it'll give you a list of the categories you have and how many songs have actually been listed into that category, and you can add or remove. Or you can rename them, as you see there, right? But first of all, I want to clarify something in OTS. When you run OTS, you obviously have nothing in here, and you use the import refresh folder, which you've seen in my earlier videos, where you go in, select, and import your music, which is there. You select that and you can of course import it, as you've seen it's done there now. Now as we don't want to worry about that at this stage, we'll cancel that there and say OK, because we're not interested at this stage. What you're doing is you're having OTS actually read your hard drive, locating your music files, and reading the data that's in each of these files. And that is all the data that you had we want OTS Studio to open it up, and we'll do it this way. Right, it reads whatever data you have here in the OTS Studio, what you've added to the song. Right, that's what it's actually doing. It's reading all that data and it's building up a database. Now that database is saved by OTS and by default is stored in the OTS folder, which is down here in the OTS Labs data. This OTS AV file here, if I open this up for the sake of it with Notepad, I'll open it up with Notepad, give it a sec to load. It's a reasonably decent sized file, so it will take a little while to load. A little while. It's getting there. As I said, it's a reasonably big file. but it is just a database, the same as you would have in any other database you use. It stores all the information about each song, including its location, the time that it runs for, the names that you have given it, and other appropriate information. It's taken a little bit longer than I expected, but it will get there. Meanwhile, we'll just sit here and look at the blank screen. There we go. Now you can see that it's loaded in, and you'll see there, for example, the C drive master OTS music, Artie's intro, Connie Francis is an intro OTS file, it's the name of the file, and Connie Francis, there's another one there. And of course, there's some other characters there which are not in English, but the database will be able to transfer it to the appropriate information. But as you can see, there is a fairly large supply of information there about the appropriate songs. I see the best of side, oh Roberta Flack, will I see you tomorrow in OTS, right? But it's just a database, right, that OTS. And when you start OTS up, it loads that database and puts that information in here for you. And as you can see, you have the song titles as long as it's artist. And if we click on it there, you'll see that this here shows you what's in the database, where it's located, its length, the artist and the title, and also the categories that it's been given. Now, this is the bit that does cause some problems. You can set the categories here or remove them, as I have just done there. I can remove that one. You'll watch them there, see the 1970s? We remove it and it's gone, and close it off, right? And the database has been changed to meet that requirement. Now the problem with the database is that if you have, first of all I'm going to exit the program. We're not going to save, I don't want to change any information. I'm going to restart the database and allow it to load the database as it is. See how it's just loaded that database up with all the categories, alright? Now, we're going to go and find some all items. We'll do all items, artists. What I'm looking for is Elvis. Now, the database shows us that we have some Elvis songs, and because we do, we can drag them across there and play them. And as you can see, they will load into the player. Alright? For the purpose of this exercise, I want you to note that there's a V in a little bracket there. That is just my way of indicating that it has actually come off a vinyl, opposed to that one there which has come off a CD. That's just for my reference. But you'll need to take note of this a little later on. Alright, but you can see that they are all loading into OTS without a problem. Now, this is where some people have a problem. For the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to go up to my files on the hard drive, and I'm going to rename my Elvis Records folder. This in effect would be deleting the files. Okay, it's telling me that's why. gave me that nasty little message because OTS had actually loaded one here and had access to the files. Okay, now if I take them out of there, I can now go in here, rename that file. So in effect, I've actually deleted this folder, or the folder that was named Elvis Records has been deleted. That folder doesn't exist anymore. Alright, now if we watch this, we can open this up and it still tells us, if we scroll along there, you can see that it still has the Elvis Records. Right, so as far as OTS and the database is concerned, these songs still exist. And if you do that, we get no song. And this has been a common problem with people that don't understand how OTS is working. They sometimes go to play a song and wonder why it's not there, not realising that they have actually had it removed from the hard drive for one reason or other and have not updated the database. That is, the database being this file here. This file here, as far as this is concerned, this folder here still exists as Elvis Records, and it's trying to retrieve, right, the data which contains where the record is located, but it's not there, so it can't load the actual file, right? And that is why people have a problem with some songs that they've got listed here not playing because they have not updated the database. Right? So whenever you make changes here in your actual files on the hard drive, you do need to update the database. You can go along and remove from media file. Yes, close, and you'll find that it will go, just watch it, let's be friends. Options, remove from media library. Yes. Close. Life. Sorry. Options, remove from database. Yes. Close. Now if you do a refresh, all items still will go down to Elvis. And you'll find Let's Be Friends and Life have gone. Where the L's are. I've got to find the L's again. Okay. And you see, Let's Be Friends is gone. And Life is gone as well. Right? Now, you can do that way, depending on how many songs there are, or you can actually remove this database by going up to File, Media Library, and clear all. We're not going to save it, and do a fresh import refresh. The choice is yours. It's just a matter of which is more convenient, depending on how many files have been deleted or moved elsewhere. But we're going to go up and we're going to open, don't save, we're going to open up the OTSAV file one, right? Now, the other thing too is, as we discovered, these all have tags. Have been sorted into different categories. If we go to a different category, there are so many songs in each one, right? Okay. Now, if we click here, as I showed before, you have an option here with the categories. You can set by clicking on, which will add it there, or set and remove it from here, right? Now this is making changes to the database only, right? As you can see, we've changed it to pop group 70s. Let's remove all of them so there are no tags. Okay, get rid of the pop, get rid of the Australian, get rid of the charted. So we have no categories files, right? That's as far as the database is concerned. So if we close that, now just remember this is heat seeker by OCDC, close. We do a refresh there, and we go to uncategorized, and you'll see heat seeker DC has moved over to here because it has no tags. But if we go to and edit the actual file in OTS Studio, you'll find that we still have the tags we gave it. This is why I've encouraged people to actually put the tags in here with the actual file so that you retain them. Again, because if you want to make some temporary changes, or if the data file is lost, right? Now with those changes that I've made that affect only the database, when you lose the database, you have got to go through and re-tag all of these, because you would simply re-import and then you would have to re-tag them again if the tags are not included in the actual file itself in OTS Studio. If you've done them with the songs themselves, the actual files here, with these actual files, wherever you move these files to, the tags goes with them. So whenever you re-import the files, those files will bring the tags with them, which means that you've just simply got to select all, and do a category assigned by gender information. Alright? This will take a little while to run because there's a few there to do. Whereas if you had only done it with the database, you would actually have to go down each file, open up each one, okay, we're going to have to let it run its course, but if you had just tagged them in the database, you would then eventually, when you import them again, you would have to go through and re-tag each one individually. And as you can see, there's 6,000 files there. That takes a long time to go through. And it's taking its time there now. We're just going to have to sit and wait for it to do its job. But that's basically how OTS works. You've got to remember that OTS does use a database, and that database holds all of the information about each of the tracks that you've got here in OTS. And that's the information you're looking at here. When you run OTS, OTS loads that database and takes the information that's in the database and displays it here. It's not until you actually select a song, such as this one, drag it over there and put it in there, that it actually goes and actually retrieves the actual music file. And as you can see, this section here edits the database. So any changes you make here, such as the tags, are only stored in the database. Whereas if you go and edit in OTS Studio, this is the actual file that's now been opened up. This is the actual file, and you can add the tags here. These tags stay with the file, so that when you load in a new lot of data, you've just simply got to select them all, category, assign general information, and we won't bother doing it again, to get it all back into, of course, click on the little green arrows there to assign them all, to get them all back into their categories. Whereas if you didn't have the tags on the actual files, you would have to open each one up separately like this, go to this section here, decide which ones you wanted it to be in, such as a fast one, and you would get fast added to that. Clear it all, never played, right? Get rid of the group, get rid of the Jeff, get rid of the 70s, get rid of the fast, get rid of the, I don't see the Australia, there it is. Alright, uncategorized. Okay, but because we have it done with the file itself, we can do the category, assign general information, yes. If you open it up again, you'll see they're back again. That saves a lot of work there by having to do each one of those individually if you don't tag them with the actual file. But that basically is the end of this one here. I just wanted to clarify why some people have that problem of when they go to drag a song, nothing happens. Such as if we were to do clear all, don't save, file, open. I've got a temporary one here at the moment, which we will open, which is this one here. And you'll notice that there are some uncategorized ones. They don't have any tags with them at all. Or if we change the Elvis one, you'll see that if we go up and do a search for Elvis, we've lost them all because we've re-indexed it all. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do quickly too was this category section. If you have a particular category you use regularly, you'll notice that there are two lines of information here: CD, audio, albums, all items, categorized and categorized. At the moment we have sports, ads, current, recurrent, and gold. The bottom line can be changed, and to do that you go up to edit, manage your categories, and we're going to change the first one to 1980s. To do that, we move it up to the top. Okay, and you'll see that that's become 1980s, and we do this, click 1980s, we get our 1980s. Alright, edit the categories, manage categories. Let's go down here and take 70s. Move it up. Move it up. And it's the second one. So you now see that we have the 80s and the 70s. It's a little bit easier if you can have your first few that you use regularly, as opposed to having to try and scroll down and find them here. That, I hope, has cleared up a little bit of some of the problems that people have had with OTS and the fact that sometimes songs are not there, etc. As always, if you have any problems understanding anything, don't hesitate to contact me. And that is the end of this one. Thanks for joining in and watching. Stay tuned for another one.